here we go. Live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios, it's the Playbook on Fan Run Radio with Brett Hollander, Garrett Armbrist, and Josh Lovett joining you. I'm William Pattison. We appreciate you listening along with us on this fine Friday from Knoxville, Tennessee. And we've got plenty to cover over the next 2 hours, including Tennessee landing a monster commit earlier today. And when I say monster, I mean this is a big dude, a 6'7" offensive tackle out of England. We'll discuss what that means for Josh Heupel and company as they add to its 2027 class. Obviously, a couple of guys we're still waiting on in the coming weeks, but a great addition. We'll talk about him. We'll also pivot over to the hardwood as Tennessee is faced with an injury in practice. Occurred on Monday. Christian Furman, the transfer out of VCU, suffered a hand injury and is going to undergo surgery or underwent surgery yesterday. We'll tell you his timetable and if he will be available for the 2026-27 season. We'll also talk about a new update to that Tennessee basketball schedule that had been hinted before by Rick Barnes, but now Michigan State will be coming to Rocky Top this upcoming season. We'll talk about that matchup and the rest of the out-of-conference slate for Tennessee as they gear up for what is supposed to be a very big season. And then in hour number 2, we'll get you ready for SEC Media Days, which begins on Monday for the SEC and as well as Tennessee, as Deshaun Bishop, Jeremiah Thielander, and Arian Carter will be up on the podium in addition to Josh Heupel. And we'll get to hear their insight ahead of the 2026 season for the Volunteers. We'll talk about that and also how we project the media will put out Tennessee in the upcoming year as they do those predictions and first team, second team, all those preseason predictions will be done next week as well by the media. We'll predict where Tennessee lands in that bunch. And then to wrap up the show, we'll have our Tennessee football all-time draft. We've got 4 teams, 4 rounds, and we'll see which group can build the best team overall. It'll include quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, and the defense. So with Tennessee's defense, as of late, you might want to take a good defense early on, but we'll see the draft strategies when we get into that. But plenty to cover on a Friday. So happy you're here. If you're on that YouTube live stream, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss any Fan Run content. And before we get into the rest of the show, let's welcome in the rest of the crew, beginning with Garrett. Garrett, how are you on this Friday?
Yeah, doing good. Felt like a pretty quick week that went by. Already Friday, so that's always a good thing when you get to the weekend unscathed and pretty quickly. So excited for another, I guess, more of a dead weekend. Not much to watch this weekend. Got the World Cup on Sunday, but until then, pretty bleak outlook other than the Open. But I, again, watched the British Open this morning. Woke up early for that, so continue that through the weekend. But at this point, just itching for football to get back on my television. But I guess preseason starts in a couple weeks, so at least you have something to watch. If you really want something on your TV, you can watch the Hall of Fame game in a couple weeks.
That is true. And, last year we had Hendon Hooker versus Trey Lance in that preseason opener in the Hall of Fame game. But I'm with you, Garrett. I'm grasping at straws right now in terms of what to do as the football season looms. We're 50 days away from Tennessee football today. That's a good number, but still 50 days away. It drags on, but once these guys get back in camp, and that's about 2 weeks out as they'll get going on July 31st, we'll get back into the swing of things. We'll have some footage. We'll have some things to discuss. So obviously that quarterback situation, but overall we are in a very dry period. I think this is the driest week I have experienced in a very long time. There's just been nothing to talk about or nothing brand new coming out per se.
50 days doesn't sound bad until you realize that that's still 7 weeks. And then it sounds pretty bad.
Is that to week 0 or is that's to week 1?
I get to week 0, we have like 6 weeks because the first week of the college football season is like August 29th.
So I know you guys are more even focused on week 0.
Oh, I'll watch every single game of week 0.
I'll be in attendance for week 0.
43. That sounds a lot better, doesn't it?
43 days until college.
Still 6
football.
weeks.
Yeah. August 6th is the Hall of Fame game. So,
correct.
Yeah.
I don't really give a damn about the Hall of Fame.
I'll watch every
playing.
preseason game I can.
Preseason really doesn't do the trick for me. I'll watch the NBC broadcast, but that's about it. I don't care about the local, Tennessee Titans radio broadcast doing the play-by-play. I watched the Jags. I watched Trevor. I mean, but he's
not going to
play.
Yeah.
Well, because he's so established already. Obviously, he'll play a couple of snaps, but
protect the MVP.
Exactly. The NFL did their player rankings. Did you guys see that this week? I guess that's something to talk about.
I have seen a few of those. Yeah.
Trevor was, I believe, 63rd.
But he wasn't in the top 10 for quarterbacks, I don't think, right? Or was he?
I don't know. He was above Lamar Jackson. That's all I care about. So
you're talking about overall.
Overall,
yeah, they did their top 100. The only thing I saw about that was they had Jeffrey Simmons in the 80s or 90s, and I thought that was ridiculous.
Yeah, well, when you play for a terrible franchise, that's what adds up. Brett, to you, how are you?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm fired up for the World Cup final on Sunday. It's sad it's coming to an end and all, but it's been a fun ride. So it should be a good final. Something I never thought I'd see. We're about to start recruiting, but I didn't think I'd see a guy go on McAfee show and commit to Indiana over Ohio State as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's a big time player, and my goodness, it's wild to see that. So I know Ohio State's still loaded in the class at wide receiver, but it's still pretty cool that and he's from the state, right? I guess so. That was.
I believe he grew up an Alabama fan, though. His nickname,
really?
His nickname's something tied to his Alabama roots,
really?
At least growing up. So
yeah, I just saw he was a big time 5-star prospect. Number 2
no, he
in the
is.
class,
He is a big deal.
It's just surprising, So maybe they'll take 2 hits at 5-star recruits this next week or so.
Maybe we'll get our own 5-star to talk about
over Ohio State as well.
Yes, exactly. Josh, to you, how are you on this Friday?
Yeah, pretty good. Like Brett said, excited for Sunday. I feel like that's the only thing we've got going on this weekend. I mean, there's a UFC fight night Saturday night.
Oklahoma City tomorrow night. I'll watch that.
I'll probably watch the main event of that. That's not a bad fight. And then just really excited for next week with media days, and then Wednesday is going to be a big day, and we'll have something to talk about either way on Thursday and Friday with that. So,
yeah, most definitely. The UFC fight, they've got big expectations to fill after last week. I think if they go for more than a minute, it'll be better than.
There's talk of LeBron committing this weekend too, so maybe we get that.
LeBron commits at UFC.
Who knows?
Comes down to the ring.
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be kind of fun.
Checking the YouTube chat real quick. Bear Sivich says, we are Bill Duff days away. Let's go. Sunday at 3 will be nap time. Vandy Dandy chimes in too. Jared Curtis will be paid more by Nike than Adidas pays any Vol player.
Wow.
Vandy Dandy piping in on a Friday. We appreciate you listening nonetheless. And let's get into our first things first topic as recruiting rolls on. Tennessee football has reeled in another blue chip offensive lineman to its 2027 class. And on Friday, 4-star international offensive lineman Nico Campus announced his commitment to the Vols. Campus picked UT over Auburn, Michigan, and Vanderbilt. Shout out Vandy Dandy. He took official visits to all 4 schools over the summer, but ultimately decided that Tennessee was his home. And that official visit was on June 19th, just a couple of days after checking out the Commodores. Campus is from Germany originally, and he is of Greek descent, but he now lives in London, England, and is a part of the NFL Academy. And on 24/7, he's a 4-star recruit, number 226 overall, and he's the number 1 player from England. So Tennessee making sure to get the best player in the country. That's pretty impressive.
I wonder how big that class is.
Yeah, he is 6'7.5" though. So when I say monster commit, this is what I mean: 6'7.5", 294. So you like those dimensions. And even though the NFL Academy players have had varied success in college football, you like the skill and you like the size in terms of the potential for this kid. Might need to change his name away from Nico, but at the end of the day,
spells it with a K.
Yeah, at least spells it with a K. Yeah, and KO is a good term at the end of it. But I think this is a good addition, and it might not wow some people. I was talking to a couple people this morning when his commitment was anticipated, and they're like, I don't really know how I feel about this NFL Academy guy. They don't usually turn out. But the way I look at it is he's 6'7", 294. That's a big dude, and I don't think you can ever over-recruit on the offensive or defensive line. You like to have as much depth possible, especially when you go through the grind of a college football season. Guys go down with injuries. Guys get banged up, specifically on that defensive line. You like to rotate, but on the offensive line, like Compass, you like to have the opportunity to develop this player and ultimately give him an opportunity to play. And that's earned over time, but getting guys that meet those dimensions, 6'7.5", 294, you can work with that. And I think this is a great addition for Tennessee football. Garrett, to you, what do you make of the addition of Nico Compass out of London, England?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably kind of one of those things where it's a low risk and it could be a decently high reward if it pans out. As you said, international prospect, the NFL Academy. You've had some guys over there that have, I guess, come over and done some decent things. I know there was a guy at the back end of the NFL draft this year that was taken from something, I think he was like an edge rusher, but he broke some records at the combine. Usually those guys are really athletic. They're just a little bit raw on the technique of American football and maybe the physicality, obviously, of playing SEC defensive line. So I'm sure he'll be a depth piece at the beginning, but as you said, he has a nice frame, 6'7". Obviously, if he can learn, the proper technique to being an offensive lineman in the SEC, maybe you could see him being a starter, down the line at some point. But I think, right now he's probably just a depth piece. It's a good addition, though. I don't know necessarily how the 4-star translation goes from that to, had he played high school football in America, what he would have been and things like that. I guess it'll kind of just be a mystery box and you see what you get on campus and you know that he has good physical traits and you just hope it works out. And if it doesn't work out, I would assume that this guy's NIL funds aren't, extremely high. So if it doesn't work out, it's not, that huge of a risk. But I guess it's a risk worth taking and you hope he does pan out.
Yeah, you mentioned NIL. Might have to convert it to euros. I wonder how many euros he gets for coming to Tennessee.
Well, did you see that new thing about that transfer portal guy posted on Twitter yesterday? So I guess you maybe have to take it with a grain of salt. But apparently if you something about the government changed it where if you come to America as an international player now, you can't transfer is what I heard. So I don't know how much truth is behind that, but apparently you can't transfer.
I mean, that transfer portal account does kind of go all over the place with this reporting, but I mean, I'm trying to logically think the reasoning behind that. I mean, is it Visa?
It could probably something because I mean, they said it had something to do with something that the administration had done. So something out of the NCAA's control, I guess, but I'm not sure exactly what the fine print on was everything there. But if that is true, it could be interesting if this guy makes it to campus and everything of what could potentially happen in the future if that is true.
Yeah, that might be the new loophole. Don't want to lose any guys in the portal, just go all European. And that's what a lot of basketball programs have done at least. But Brett, to you, what do you make of the addition for Tennessee?
It's a little intriguing because, when you hear NFL academies, you just wonder what kind of coaching he's getting. I mean, is he getting developed by guys that have been in the league and they've gone over to work for the NFL over there and help develop the programs and things like that? It'd be interesting if that was the case because I think that would, you see his offer list and he's a 4-star graded at 90. So you got to think people are grading him over there some way, somehow. So I'm intrigued by the size. It says here, I'm just reading, he used to be a volleyball player. So he seems like he'd be an athletic tackle and things like that. So I think it's intriguing, especially if you hear an NFL Academy and things like that. You maybe think he's getting maybe developed at a different rate or a good rate to where these schools are intrigued by him and things like that. So I think it's like Garrett said, I think it's worth the risk, and if he gets over, he's going to learn from, David Sanders will be in his, second season at left tackle, different things like that. So I think it's a good spot and a good chance to take on somebody for maybe a cheap option as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the dual sport aspect of this. A former volleyball player.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I love. Well, isn't that interesting too?
The
last
parallels. Nico that also came here was also an high school American volleyball player.
Yeah, I was about to say interesting how those parallels align. But I like dual sport guys because they're accustomed to multiple different seasonal schedules. They're always busy. They're always training. They're always involved some form or fashion. And if you've got an offensive tackle that's playing volleyball, as you mentioned, Brett, that means someone that is pretty good athlete and able to move. I mean, not that all linemen can't move, but like for some of those guys, volleyball isn't in the cards, right? So I like to hear that he's a volleyball player too. That could be a swing blocker that you could possibly add into the wrinkle as well. So you like the potential there for sure.
No doubt about it.
Josh, to you, what do you make of the addition? Being an offensive lineman yourself, 6'7.5", 294, some good dimensions there for the London, England native.
Yeah, I'd like to see him get a little bigger, to be honest with you, at least weight-wise. I mean, if you're pushing 6'8", you have the frame to be, 315, 320, 325. So if he can get in here and get with Coach Owings, we can get some more mass on him. I pulled up his film just because I wanted to see what he looked like. He's very athletic. He has very quick feet, which is good, and it makes sense with finding out that he played volleyball. It helps out with we talked about the blue chip ratio yesterday. He's a 4-star. He fits the mold of that. I'll never complain about getting a 4-star offensive lineman, especially one that's very athletic and shows promise. And I mean, on the film I'm watching right now, I mean, they play IMG. He's got highlights from IMG. He's throwing people around. So I think there's some room for improvement for him to get stronger and get filled out a little bit more. But I mean, I'm a fan of it.
This now marks 17 commitments in the 2027 class for the Vols. The class currently stands at 45th overall, but it is sure to be adjusted following the addition of Compass today. That's good for number 14 in the SEC. But again, a lot of work to do. And if you add a couple of these other guys that the Vols are after, that is sure to move up the ladder. Other offensive linemen committed in this cycle: 4-star Princeton Uafo and 4-star Kamari Hudson. And Hudson did so not too long ago, choosing Tennessee over Virginia Tech. So 3 offensive linemen now in the boat. But when you hear the class is currently standing at number 45 in the country, that's not going to make many people excited. I think this class is interesting, though, because you kind of passed on a couple of guys, in-state kids. You had a couple of in-state prospects that went to Clemson and Kentucky, respectively, over staying in Knoxville and just down the road. I think some of this has to play into the fact that Tennessee is prioritizing the transfer portal a little bit more moving forward, instead of having to divvy out money towards high school kids that they're going to have to develop. And that development might not even be something they get to watch pay off, because they could enter the transfer portal and end up leaving. So with a kid like this, I don't think you have to really worry about that, because he's coming all the way over from England and he's originally from Germany. That doesn't scream a guy that's going to want to bounce around in the United States, at least in my eyes. So these are guys you can develop and ultimately get some sort of a return on. The offensive linemen, I think, are a little bit different than those skill players. Those skill players like DBs and wide receivers and running backs, those guys can come in and out. Tennessee's done a great job, as we discussed yesterday, keeping those in-house wide receivers or in-house running backs and keeping them around for the upcoming seasons. But we've seen a lot more mobility when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. And I think that's what Tennessee's kind of looking at in terms of the recruiting philosophy. Why go pay a 3-star cornerback $150 to $200K just to come get developed for 2 seasons and end up going somewhere else? So I know that ranking might not look great, but I do think it's a part of this philosophy that Tennessee doesn't really want to pay high school recruits that aren't going to see the field, and just kind of ride away with the development, not getting return on that investment. Garrett, what do you make of that? And do you feel like that number 45 ranking is eventually going to get up into the top 25, top 20, where Tennessee predominantly has been known for being in?
Yeah, I mean, you have obviously a little bit of time remaining. I know Alabama fans were up in arms about their recruiting class being a lot lower than normal as well. But I think, honestly, that's just kind of the way that we're going in college football. As you said, you're prioritizing these guys out of the transfer portal, wide receiver, running back, tight end, corner, safety, whatever it may be. The offensive line, I think, kind of works as one unit. So if you can have those 5 guys on the O-line kind of stick together and play together for multiple seasons, I think that helps you, especially in the SEC, with how much you want to win in the trenches. But I mean, as you've said, you look at LSU. I mean, their wide receiver room, they have guys from 7, 8 different schools. So I think you can pick up running backs and wide receivers out of the transfer portal. I think you can pick up guys in the secondary out of the transfer portal. But I think defensive, offensive line, linebackers, guys that are kind of the captains of the team on the defense, stuff like that. Obviously, quarterback, maybe you want to keep from high school, but I think those are kind of the players that you want to keep in-house and develop those guys, because I just think an offensive and defensive line, and Josh can speak on this more, but I mean, I just feel like those 5 guys work as a unit. So like they're 5 players, but it's almost like one player in a way. So I feel like you just want them all to kind of stick together and be molded together. Obviously, if you had the top 5 offensive linemen in the SEC and came together, I mean, they would be able to make it work. But I just think the more you stick the offensive linemen together and play together, the better the situation is.
Josh?
Yeah, he's exactly right. The best way I can describe it is it's 5 guys, 1 heartbeat. That's the way an offensive line works. If all it takes is one guy to not do his job and the play's blown up. So he, couldn't have said it better myself.
Bear Switch, or Sivich, I should say, on the YouTube chat. Wide receiver Dean from Alcoa going to Georgia. Don't think Tennessee even offered him. And I'd have to look him up. I don't know him off the top of my head. But again, I think that if Tennessee wants to prioritize towards the transfer portal, I think a lot of teams are having to go through this as well, by the way. How much do you want to spend in the transfer portal on guys that have already played college football, shown what they can do at this level, versus kind of taking a risk on a guy that you could maybe get for a low price and he could turn out and be a year 1 starter. But then that paycheck's going to have to come in and you're going to have to up it up a significant amount. I think when you look at recent teams that have had a lot of success, I mean, hell, Indiana is a good example, but again, I think they're kind of a difference to the mean because of we've never really seen a turnaround like that. So I try not to use them as an example, but if you look at teams across the country that are in the same boat as Tennessee in terms of a historic program, good funding, good fan base, a lot of teams are starting to kind of pivot towards that transfer portal a little bit more often and trying to get those guys in positions of need instead of waiting to develop. Because if you're in Alabama, if you're at Georgia, if you're at Tennessee, if you're any of these major programs in the SEC, you become a feeding ground for some of these Big 12 teams or Group of 5 teams to come in and swoop players up and say, hey, we're going to give you the opportunity to play. And you're going to get film and you're going to have the opportunity to get on the field right away, as opposed to having to sit behind a player for 2 to 3 years. And I think if I'm Tennessee, I don't want to be spending this type of money on guys that are not going to see the field or guys that I can go out in the transfer portal and get better at than having to take a risk on a guy that hasn't really played. Brett, what do you decipher between transfer portal and high school recruiting in terms of building out a roster?
I mean, it's just kind of hard to say. I feel like maybe in the high school ranks, maybe you prioritize the interior linemen, the defensive linemen, things like that. I just think you can build them up, and they seem less likely that they transfer. I could be wrong on that. It just seems like skill positions, quarterbacks, running backs are your main guys in the portal most years. So I feel like if you can find you a quality size-wise 4-star in the high school ranks, they can possibly see the field for a few snaps. I think we're going to have to do that this year on our end. So I just think it depends on the position and things like that. And Tennessee's building good depth in the high school ranks over their last couple of recruiting classes, and they're holding their classes together. They're keeping guys in-house. So you're not having to prioritize the portal as much as some of these other teams. So whatever we're doing over there is working pretty well. It's a fairly balanced class we've got. We've hit in some key areas and things like that. And I think it's just, just kind of depends on, as we say, year in and year out. But right now, I think Tennessee's is doing as well as anybody and things like that. So I'm pretty excited about the future of this football team if we keep these guys together.
Garrett, to you, transfer portal or high school, which one do you feel like is the more important recruiting method?
Well, I mean, I think you have to be good at both. You don't want to go completely all in on the transfer portal and have 60 new guys come into a team, because I think it's hard to create team chemistry if you do that. At the same time, you don't want to do what Dabo Swinney's done at Clemson over the last 3 seasons, and he used it this year, but previous years not used the transfer portal at all and kind of get swept behind the rug, and the times have kind of taken him by a little bit, and Clemson's been kind of left in the dust a little bit here in the last 5 years. So I think you kind of want to do it both ways. I mean, I think building your trenches of guys, like I said, that come from the high school ranks, I think is important. And then, I mean, if you want to go get those skill position guys that came from the G5 or the FCS or another school or whatever, that I think that's fine. But then, I mean, you could make the argument you don't want to do that either because of what we talked about yesterday with the wide receiver and running back room. I mean, Javon Gordon is the only guy on this team that in the offensive skill positions that comes in as a transfer. So I don't know. I think it's kind of 50-50. I think offensive linemen do transfer a lot too. I think you just don't hear about it as much. I mean, I preview all these college football teams before the season, and I see a lot of offensive linemen that transfer. I think you just don't hear about it because, they're an offensive lineman, and unfortunately offensive linemen are kind of the least talked about player on a field. If you throw a 50-yard touchdown downfield to Braylon Staley, yeah, it was a great throw and catch, but if the offensive line didn't do their job, the play wouldn't have happened. So I think the offensive line and the defensive line are just as important, if not more important, than any position on the field.
I think in terms of my recruiting philosophy out of high school, I would prioritize the offensive line, the defensive line, quarterback, and then a running back. And I say running back because I don't want to go out and have to pay some kid top dollar in the transfer portal. If you're able to recruit running backs, guys that can just come in and run the ball, and especially in this Josh Heupel offense where you've seen a number of guys have success with it, you don't have to go out and pay top dollar for them. Deshaun Bishop was a walk-on out of Carnes High School. Now, he was a hell of a player at Carnes, the second and third respective all-time leader in yards and touchdowns in Tennessee high school football history, but he was a walk-on. And he's now turned into one of the best running backs in college football heading into the new year. But if I had to, again, divvy it out, offensive lineman, high school, defensive lineman, high school, quarterback. I know you like to go out and get, the top portal quarterback available, but it's good to have a guy in your back pocket that's already been developed. And there are a number of schools that have had a lot of success with that. And then I'd go running back, and that, might rub people the wrong way, talking about David Gabriel Georges, how much Tennessee is expected to pay him if he were to commit. But I would rather pay a guy like that than have to worry about the market going up and down each year. I'd say wide receivers right behind running back. But, everywhere else, DBs, DBs, I like getting strictly from the portal. Like I want all my DBs to have experience at this level and showcase that they can keep up with these receivers.
Linebacker too, right?
And, yeah, I mean linebacker too. Yeah,
I feel like linebacker's a tough position to learn as a young kid.
I think the two second levels of the defense, I would prioritize with the transfer portal. Guys that have already shown they can play, and you don't really have to learn, teach new things to them, and that would be my philosophy. If I had to approach it.
It's got to be important, too, that you get guys on your staff that can evaluate that talent, too, because, say you're going for that running back position, you got to be able to look all around the country and find who the next Ahmad Hardy is, a guy that was at Louisiana Monroe that maybe slipped in recruiting a little bit, and you can't wait till the end of the season when he rushes for 1,400 yards in the Sun Belt, because then at that point, every school's on him, and as much as I hate it for the G5 schools, the tampering that goes on, I mean, these guys are, probably talking to the big schools 6-7 weeks into the season. So you really got to be on top of finding, these talents in the G5 and the FCS that you're bringing up, or even from another Power 4 team. I mean, you got to scout this talent out early and figure out who you're keeping an eye on throughout the whole season, who could be a good fit on your roster for the next year.
Yeah, I talked to one G5 standout a couple of weeks ago, and he said that, throughout the season, he gets DMs from agents and guys trying to go ahead and get him ready for the transfer portal. They're already trying to cling on to him. So if you're performing well 6 weeks into the season, you're going to start getting calls from other schools and kind of lining things up. But again, I think it is tough for the G5 to have to deal with that. But at the same time, I think it allows a great recruiting pitch for some of these schools. Hey, we just pumped out this kid to these Power 4 schools. You come here, we're going to do the same thing with you. Whether it's at Eastern Michigan or Wyoming or Bowling Green, I think it's a great recruiting pitch to come to the G5. And you've seen some guys too, like a Shabazz Preston, 5-star recruit out of high school, goes to Alabama and, then winds up at Tulane and had a really good season for the Green Wave last year. Now he gets the opportunity to go elsewhere and make a big impact. So I think it works both ways. As much as the G5 gets plopped away, I think it is still a good recruiting pitch for some of those teams to say you can still come here and get some great development. But overall, a good addition for Tennessee in the 2027 class with Nico Campos out of London, England, the NFL Academy, 6'7", 294. Josh thinks he needs to put on some more beef, but hopefully he can do so. And if he doesn't, I know a guy that can, and Derek Owings. When we come back on the other side, we're going to switch to the hardwood as a new injury development has surfaced for Tennessee basketball. On Monday, Christian Furman suffered an injury in practice and yesterday underwent surgery. We'll tell you his timetable when we return right here on the Playbook.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Ball fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game, Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the Vols or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
The voluntary reaction.
Can't get enough Tennessee basketball? Join Fan Run Radio as soon as every UT game is over for Big Orange Country's post-game radio free-for-all. The voluntary reaction. We'll be taking your calls on the Vols as soon as every game is over. So tune in and buckle up as we drink from the keg of glory all the way to the Final Four.
The voluntary reaction. Raw, unfiltered, real.
All right, back here on the Playbook, we appreciate you listening along with us on this fine Friday from K-Town. We'll continue our coverage, now pivoting over to the hardwood as we have a hoops injury update. Tennessee basketball is going to be without one of its incoming transfer forwards, Christian Furman, for the remainder of summer practice that goes until July 30th. Furman was a transfer from Virginia Commonwealth, one of two, including Terrence Hill Jr., but he is now out 4 to 6 weeks after suffering a fractured left hand in practice on Monday. He stands at 6'10", 225 pounds, and he had his first couple of seasons with the Rams, 3 specifically, spent 3 seasons with VCU, but took off last year due to personal reasons and now is on Rocky Top. And as a junior, the last full year he played, he averaged 4.6 points, 3.1 rebounds, and 1.4 blocks in 19.4 minutes of action per game. He's one of the more intriguing additions to this team in terms of we don't know a whole lot about him. And when I watched him in practice a couple of weeks back, he didn't really stick out to me. But that's not to say that he could not be a good rotational player for Tennessee overall this season. He does have some pretty eye-popping hair, I will say that, some blonde dreads, so it sticks out pretty quickly. But nonetheless, just a 4 to 6 week timetable. He will not miss the 2026-27 season, expected to make a full recovery. And those summer practices wrap up in 13 days anyway. So when they get back on campus for the new year and get back into the swing of things, he'll be available to go. A couple of injuries this offseason. You had Troy Henderson obviously returning from injury, that shoulder that he dealt with for much of last year. And then also Tyler Lundblade had a back injury, but none of which are severe. And I think this is the most significant injury update that we have gotten this summer. So no reason to sound the alarm, but in terms of, getting ready and getting acclimated to a new team, this could be something that, puts them in a deficit. But Garrett, what do you make of the news of Furman having a 4 to 6 week injury, a fractured left hand?
Yeah, I mean, not a huge deal. As you said, they're going to be done here at the end of the month with summer practice. So just get healthy for the fall when the season starts in late October, when you start having those exhibition games. Obviously, for his sake, you hope that he can rest up. As you said, didn't really play last season. So this has obviously been kind of a rough 15 months for him with this injury and then all of last season. So, he was a guy that you kind of got late in the portal cycle to, you needed to get one of those extra rotational pieces, and you felt that with his body size and he could do that and be one of those guys that could come in and play a few minutes and maybe be a little bit of a rim protector and things like that. So that's definitely a position that you need all the depth that you can get, because that's probably the least amount of depth that you have on the team. So just make sure that he gets healthy before the season starts. And in October, November, if he's healthy, we're not going to be, thinking about a 4 to 6 week hand injury that he had back in July. So if you're going to get injured, this is the time to do it.
Yeah, Tennessee added a multitude of new additions to this roster, 8 of which came from the transfer portal, Furman being one of them. And in terms of those forwards, Miles Rubin, transfer from Loyola Chicago, and Braden Liu, a transfer from Kennesaw State at 6'10 and 6'9 respectively. Those were the portal additions, but obviously Dwayne Brown returns for his sophomore campaign. But, one of the questions we have talked about has been this backcourt depth, or front court depth, I should say, front court depth for Tennessee, and having an injury to one of those few front court players is a bit of a concern. How big of a deal is it for you, Brett?
Not at all. It's barely a blip on the radar. You just hope he gets healthy. I think there's other guys well ahead of him, and it's just, an extra roster spot or two, and you just filled it in with maybe for Terrence Hill's sake. I don't know, but it's really nothing. You just hope he gets well at this point. I didn't think he was going to be much of a factor this season unless you were just deeply in foul trouble or just want to spell somebody for a couple minutes. But this doesn't even affect anything, and for me at least. So you just hope he gets healthy. He gets hurt in practice or whatever. But this is barely a blip on the radar for me.
Josh, would you echo that? Barely a blip on the radar.
Yeah, same thing. Just be healthy when it matters. I mean, if there's a time for anybody to get hurt for basketball season, it's right now. So this is when they can be going through that, and go have your surgery, go rest up, and be ready to go when you get back to campus in August. And then we'll get, preseason rolling and be healthy by the exhibitions. That's all I should care about.
And when we talk about that front court depth for Tennessee, it's going to be one of the main concerns for a lot of people heading into the year, as we've discussed. But one thing I've tried to throw out there is the pace of this team, I think, is what is going to set the tone, where you've got guys like Dwayne Brown and Miles Rubin, who are your bigs, that are running up the court like wing players. And I think despite the lack of height, and there's still a roster spot, you never know, there might be a 7'4" player.
I hope so.
Hanging out somewhere in the Caribbean, or
I'd still be looking.
Maybe this Compass kid knows someone from London, England.
I'm putting him out there, 6'7", 270 or whatever he is.
Yeah.
He's got leaping ability.
Yeah.
Jalen Carey all over again.
Yeah.
Well,
hopefully not.
He's got a bigger body.
We can jump a
he
little
outweighs
higher.
all the guys that are going to be playing the front court.
Yeah. So
I let him go bang bodies.
So where do you? So my big thing that I've tried to preach is, there are going to be some limitations in terms of your height, but I think
it's not even the height; it's the size. Like they're tall and lean. Like, I just
I
worry
think
about a physical team.
Brown's got some physical.
Are we going to be able to get a defensive rebound and things like that? Are we going to keep teams off the glass that we had zero problem with last year?
Sure.
We've got our own misses and things. That's the thing. They can get out and run all they want, but let's secure a rebound first. You know, like let's do the things that actually win basketball games, block shots, getting rebounds before we take off the court and go try and catch a lob from some of these guys. That's my big concern, because there's some top teams in the country are very big.
Garrett, would you echo that? Talking about the, what you might lack in height, Brett argues you also kind of lack in some size.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what was Akpar? 240 probably.
Yeah, 6'11", but that wingspan I think really made up for it as well.
He's a grown man.
You definitely don't have anyone like that. I mean, I'm with Brett. If you have an extra roster spot, I'd try and go get someone from overseas. Obviously, they're probably not going to be much of a factor this season. It's going to be a situation like Ethan Berg. They're probably going to be pretty raw. But, I mean, at the same time, I feel like 7'3", 7'4", 7'2" guy, something like that. I mean, you're maybe not going to get someone that high, but even just a 7-footer, like, I mean, even if they are a little bit raw, just, learn how to defend without fouling down low and maybe have a couple
Texas
dunks.
did. Go try and get one of these top high school recruits to reclassify.
Yeah.
Like, go find the best big and see.
Well,
if
you're not going to be able to pay for that. I mean, that's.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, what are they willing to pay for? Like,
well, I mean, if you did that, that'd be probably a $2-3 million
Texas
center.
goes and pays
yeah,
Marcus Spears Jr.
Yeah, but he was. I mean, that guy's going to be a couple $1 million. You don't have the money to go spend a couple more $1 million. You got the money to go spend a couple $100,000 overseas, but you don't have the money to go pay for a $2-3 million 5-star.
Is that how much it would be for like a big out of high school?
I would think it would be in the millions somewhere.
If it's a top player, yeah. But I mean, if it's somebody who's like a Zakai and has been overlooked or something,
high school
you could
kid.
do that.
I just think the center position is especially like that. That's just a position of. I mean, you saw the kid from Cincinnati, how much he was costing out of the portal. Like that, every team needs that. I mean, it's like quarterback in college football. Like you just have to pay for it if you want it. Like you need it to win.
I mean, yeah, the market for bigs was significantly up this past portal cycle. But again, I think the big reason for that is because you watched the NCAA tournament and the teams that had a lot of success had really good bigs. Taurus Reed at UConn, Ade Mara at Michigan, were two big standouts. But you go across the board, a lot of those teams that continued to advance. Illinois was a team that was just big in general, very lengthy. Big Z was one of their guys, but he was a stretch as well. But I think when you watch a team have success, the reason for that success, that market will go up, and the center market was out of control. Mustafa Thiem, good player at Cincinnati. I wouldn't pay him $4 million. I don't think Mustafa Thiem is worth the same amount as Juke Harris.
The Bedunga from Kansas, he was worth a lot of money too.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty much all of them were worth upwards of $2-3 million.
We paid Harrelson $3 million. So would you rather pay Thiem $3 million with the roster you have and have that guaranteed big? Or
I probably would have rather have paid him. I mean,
we paid Harrelson. I think
Harrelson's going to be a really good player, but it's two different positions
it is.
basically. I mean, yeah. I mean, I can't really go back on and
No,
now,
you can't.
obviously, but I think you still have time to go land someone overseas. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's a pretty good amount of those guys. I mean, we were talking about the one kid that played. I draw a blank on his name, but he played community college ball in Georgia, and I think he committed to like UAB or something.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was a low-profile guy, and he was 7'1", I think, or 7 foot. I mean, I'm sure you could go find somebody if you really wanted to.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting now with this injury if he does look at somebody else.
Yeah,
I mean, I know it's not out for the season, but
sure,
who knows?
Well, he just needs somebody who can go get rebounds. That's all. I think that's all. The only flaw in this team is, I mean, with the scoring that we have at the guard and in the wing spots, we're not going to need to score inside, a whole lot. We're not going to need a true post-up guy, but
Just
we
rim
definitely
runners, things like that.
Yeah, we definitely need somebody who can rebound the basketball, and I think Dwayne Brown can. I mean, he's big enough and he's large enough to do that, but can the other guys do it? Can Ruben do it? So I'd like to see us go get an overseas guy who's just, like you said, 7'2" and just inhaling rebounds.
I think Ruben's an underrated. I think Ruben's going to be better than
really
people
good.
think he's going to be, because people will think, oh, well, he played at Loyola Chicago and he was in the A10. And, I mean, he played in the same conference Terrence Hill played in. I mean, it's not like he played Division III basketball or something. He played D1 basketball. Loyola Chicago is a pretty proud mid-major basketball program.
Yeah, I was impressed with Ruben. I think he's sneaky athletic. That's the term I use for him, because he did have a couple of moments where he was jumping out of the gym.
Well, he posterized Dwayne Brown.
He did. He did. I think him and Brown are very comparable, though. And I think that also speaks volumes to the development Brown has made since he arrived on campus as a freshman a year ago. The fact that Ruben, a more veteran, experienced player, is comparable to a guy that's still an underclassman. Now, I'd say the drop-off after Brown and Lou, though, Brown and Ruben was noticeable. Mm-hmm. Lou and Furman did not stick out to me necessarily. Now, I think Lou is going to be a later rotational player, but he's kind of a Swiss Army knife type of guy. You have him out there for his length defensively. He does have a really nice wingspan along with his height, but his offense is limited. But you knew that when he was at Kennesaw State. You got him for defense. Christian Furman, I really don't know what I'm getting, and we're going to have to kind of see as that goes on through practice because he didn't play last year, and though he was in limited minutes, his numbers weren't, off the charts good at VCU. But at least a notable enough injury for a new transfer. Christian Furman out 4 to 6 weeks. Will miss the remainder of summer practice for Tennessee, but they do wrap up on July 30th. So that sounds a little bit more ominous than it actually is. But once the guys get back and rolling for the start of the semester, he'll be back in the mix, and Tennessee will gear up for what should be a very important and very fun season. When we come back, we will discuss a new schedule update to that very important, very fun season. And this one is going to be another fun game as Michigan State is headed to Rocky Top. We'll tell you the dates and what to expect in that matchup, along with the other out-of-conference opponents for the Volunteers, when we return right here on The Playbook.
Catch up with all things Fan Run by subscribing to our podcast feed. Like, rate, and download the show from the Fan Run app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco at Knoxville Smiles. Have you ever wanted to improve the look of your smile? We know firsthand what the power of a great smile means to a person's confidence and health. Our team of doctors can provide you with an array of options for helping you achieve your cosmetic goals. From simply moving teeth into a better position, to reversible cosmetic bonding, to full mouth implant-supported dentures. It is our goal to help patients feel good about their appearance while achieving optimal health. Want to learn more? Call us at 865-539-1776 to schedule an evaluation, or visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com.
Hi, this is Bo Kregner from the Kregner Group at Realty Executives, and I know there's a lot of choices here in East Tennessee when it comes to choosing a realtor. Here's why the Kregner Group is different. At the Kregner Group, our motto is walking by faith, serving others. It's how I live my life. It's how I run my business. Here at the Kregner Group, we're committed to doing real estate the right way. Faith, honesty, integrity. The Kregner Group. Call me anytime at 865-742-1035 or visit my website at bonoshouses.com.
Welcome to Axle Logistics, where excellence isn't just a goal, it's an energy. As a leading third-party logistics company, Axle is powered by an award-winning culture built on a work hard, play hard mentality. Here, the drive for success is contagious and hard work never goes unnoticed. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, Axle Logistics is the place to launch your career. Join us and take your ambition to the stars. To learn more, visit axlelogistics.com.
All right, back here on The Playbook. We appreciate you hanging out with us on this Friday from K-Town. We'll pivot over to the other side of the hardwood as Tennessee and Michigan State are officially locked in for a matchup. Tennessee basketball officially announced this as a home-and-home series with the Spartans on Friday morning. The series begins this season when Michigan State travels to Knoxville for a matchup at Thompson Bowling Arena at Food City Center on Tuesday, November 17th. The exact tip-off time will be released at a later date, but Michigan State will then return the favor and host Tennessee in the back half of the home-and-home series during the 2027-28 season. However, the two teams have not decided on a date for the second of the two games, but the Vols now have 7 or potentially 8 out-of-conference games scheduled against Power 5 opponents. We'll dive more into that here in a moment, but this Tennessee-Michigan State matchup was something that Rick Barnes hinted at during the Big Orange Caravan back in April. He said that they were working on getting something done, and some people figured it might be an exhibition game, but this is for real, and this is going to be at the very beginning of the season. So a great opportunity to play against a hell of a coach, Hall of Fame coach, and Tom Izzo, a well-coached group, period, and this is going to be a tournament team. Michigan State's always in the tournament. This is going to be a tournament team, so in November, you're going to have the opportunity to shape up and see how you stack up with this new-look group up against a Spartans team that is always playing in March and usually makes a couple of big runs. So I like this opportunity, and Rick Barnes has not shied away from putting big-time games on their schedule. Now, there are some that are bigger than others, but when you're adding Power 4 opponents in the regular season and we're not doing exhibitions against Duke and all of that, that means he's got confidence in this team and also wants them to get battle-tested before SEC play. And we all know how competitive the SEC has been in years past. Getting experience against teams like Michigan State, very valuable in my book. Garrett, to you, what do you make of the matchup, Tennessee and Michigan State?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Barnes versus Izzo. Obviously, Michigan State's going to be a good team next season again. Cohen Carr is probably the most athletic player in college basketball, so you get to see him firsthand and kind of see how your team stacks up to an athletic guy like that you're going to see in the NCAA tournament. Jeremy Fears, your opinion of the guy himself might not be very high after his antics from last season, but at the end of the day, he's very good basketball player that they got back for this next season, and it's going to be nice. You're going to get to play two Big Ten teams in non-con play. I know we'll talk about that more in a second, but I'm excited to play Tom Izzo, and then you'll get Purdue and Matt Painter. And Purdue, I think, is going to be I don't know that they're going to be in a rebuild, but you lose Lawyer and Braden Smith and some of these other guys that you've seen over the past couple of years are now in the league. So it feels like a spot where you could honestly win both these games, especially with the Michigan State game being at home and Purdue maybe a little bit of a rebuild. Not rebuild. They'll still be obviously a very good team, but I just think they're two winnable games, and those are massive to get quad one wins in November and December before you even get into SEC play. So I think, a stacked schedule like this just helps you out for March, and you've seen that competition before.
Now, looking at the rest of the non-conference schedule, Tennessee will host Florida State in the ACC-SEC Challenge. That one will be in Knoxville. The Vols will also go up against former Tennessee assistant Justin Gainey and the NC State Wolfpack. That will be a neutral site game in Nashville. So a pair of ACC opponents there. And then Tennessee's going to play 3 or 4 teams in the Players Era Festival in Las Vegas. They open up with Maryland in their first game, and then we'll play either Iowa State or San Diego State in the second game of that event. And then for that third matchup, you could go up against the St. John's in Oregon, a Louisville, a TTU, Texas Tech. And then if you go 3-0, you're playing the championship game. So you could have 4 opportunities if you have a clean slate in those first 3 games in Las Vegas. I mean, you just look at the teams on this list, though. Florida State, NC State, 2 solid ACC opponents. NC State a little bit better than the Seminoles at this point in time. But Michigan State, that's going to be a tournament team. Maryland, a pretty good group under Buzz Williams. You'll go up against Bishop Boswell, a former Volunteer. Iowa State or San Diego State in that second game. Those are usually tournament teams. And then St. John's, Oregon, Louisville, Texas Tech, those are tournament teams for sure. Maybe Oregon might be, the weak dragon out of the bunch there, but overall, you're going to be going up against 7 or 8 tournament teams in the out-of-conference play, which I think, again, is not only great for Tennessee fans to be able to watch some great basketball, but also good for this team because this is a new group, 11 new players, a lot of dynamics that need to be worked out before you get into the SEC schedule. And I think Tennessee has done a good job in that facet. Brett, any thoughts on this matchup against Michigan State?
Just really glad they decided to do home and home. So many teams just go to these neutral sites. As we think about a football, you get these big matchups on neutral sites. I'm just glad it's home and home. I think it's incredible, and give me all these games. I'd rather play all these games outside of all these bye games and things like that are kind of pointless and things like that. But our team's gonna have to grow up fast. I mean, this is an early season contest, and we're gonna have to be ready to go. We're gonna learn a lot about our team in these games and things like that. And I think the Michigan State leads straight into the Players Era, so it's a good test leading into that. And I'm excited. I think these are 2 legendary coaches, 2 great programs, and Michigan State's a top 10 team in a lot of these way too early rankings. So, it's gonna be a fun one, and I'm really excited about this matchup.
Vols will have to be ready quickly out of the gates as the 2026-27 season begins. Michigan State headed to Rocky Top on November 17th. Great matchup, two legendary coaches, two teams that have championship aspirations. Should be a fun one. When we come back in hour two, we'll take a look at SEC Media Days. It gets kicked off on Monday. We'll tell you the three volunteers that are representing UT alongside Josh Heupel. What's to expect from the media reaction as well. We'll predict where we think Tennessee will land in those media predictions, and we'll also do our all-time Tennessee football draft a little bit later on as well. Stay right here. It's the Playbook, Hour 2 on the way.
Follow us on Twitter or X or whatever the they're calling it these days at Fox Sports Knox. Fox Sports Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
Smoky Mountain Brewery is the place to be for game day. From the moment you walk in, it's wall-to-wall big screens, making Smoky Mountain Brewery the perfect place to watch the Vols or your favorite team in action. With locations in Turkey Creek, Maryville, Pigeon Forge, and Gatlinburg, you're never far away from a great time at Smoky Mountain Brewery. Try one of their world-famous microbrews like Black Bear Ale, Mountain Light, or Cherokee Ale. Juicy burgers, wings that bring the heat, and delicious handmade pizzas made with hand-tossed crust from the freshest ingredients and their own special sauce from a secret recipe, topped off with hand-grated cheese and farm-fresh toppings. And don't forget, those famous microbrews are also available in kegs for your next party or in 6-packs and growlers to go. So grab your crew and head to Smoky Mountain Brewery and tell them Fan Run Radio sent you. Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Hey Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Here we go. Hour number 2 on a Friday, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook on Fan Run Radio. Garrett Armbrust, Brett Hollander, and Josh Lovett joining you. I'm William Pattison. Great stuff in hour number 1. We'll continue it here in hour number 2 as we talk SEC Media Days ahead of next week's events in Tampa, Tennessee, up on the podium on Monday. So obviously we'll have a ton to cover during that. But for Friday, we'll get ready for it and talk about where we project Tennessee to land in the preseason vote by the media in terms of where the Vols will stack up across the rest of the SEC. Also talk about that trio, because early in the week, Brett was not a fan that we had 2 linebackers joining Deshaun Bishop and Josh Heupel in Tampa. So we'll talk about that. We'll also do our Tennessee football all-time draft later on. We've got 4 spots: quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and a defense. And we'll see which group can put together the best unit. And we'll wrap it up with our final thoughts, a little pitch talk, a little soccer, as the FIFA World Cup final is on Sunday and the third place game is on Saturday. I saw that they're all getting rings as well. They announced
the champion, I guess. Yeah.
That's what they had said. So rings,
I don't know if they've normally done that. But.
They usually get medals. What do they get?
Medals, yeah.
Medals,
and then obviously the trophy.
Medals.
Yeah.
What would the outrage be if somehow Mbappe won the award? What was the award called for the most goals?
Golden Boot.
What would be the outrage if he got that over Messi playing in a participation game? Like if he scored say he got 3 goals or something in the game.
Well, I mean, it depends. You tell me Messi's lifting the trophy. I don't think Messi's got so many trophies, but I don't know. That'd be an interesting one. I'm interested in Mbappe plays much in that third place game, to be honest. Yeah. This is where, pointless games, you're getting guys minutes that probably haven't played at all in the World Cup, or, he'll make an appearance, I'm sure, but that would be interesting to say the least.
Well, we appreciate those on the YouTube chat. Buck says, good afternoon from Dunn, North Carolina, where it's a cool 107 degrees. That's not very cool at all.
No, that's far from it.
Yeah, some summer weather. Up in North Carolina, too. That's surprising. But
I mean, it's pretty hot here. I don't know what it is, but
I just kind of come in and out. Like I get out of the car.
It felt hot. I don't know.
I get out of the car and walk 10 seconds to the door. So I haven't really experienced the outside weather today, but I will say.
I mean, it says 91, but the real feel is 110 here. So,
here?
Yeah.
110?
The real feel, whatever that means.
Feels like says it's like 99.
Yeah.
What are you going off of?
I use AccuWeather.
Are you in Equator?
See, I use the Weather Channel app is what I use.
I just use the app on the phone.
That one sucks.
That one sucks. Why does it suck?
It's never accurate.
UV's at 6.
I switched from the pre-downloaded weather app a long time ago.
Let's see. Hold on. It says it feels like 89. What are y'all talking about? 110 degrees.
I mean,
I've got 99. We got a 20-degree difference between the three of us.
I mean, am I wrong? I mean, I thought this was run by the Weather Channel.
No.
I mean,
not the one that's pre-downloaded on the iPhone. The Weather Channel has their own app.
Yeah, I use AccuWeather. I don't know. It's hot. I mean, either way you slice it, but
Buck says it's down by the coast. It's flat and hot. I envy the coast. I cannot wait to go to the beach. Regardless, we'll get into our first topic.
Go to media days. Reporting live.
I got invited to go, but I'm not flying down to Tampa and paying for a 5-day.
It's too far to drive, right?
Oh hell no! I'm not driving to Tampa. That's a 14-hour drive, right? 16
I don't
hours.
know what the distance is.
I guess I'm
I think
thinking
it's
from
more like
Memphis.
10. I think it's more like 10.
I guess I'm thinking from Memphis, but I'm not. I'd fly, but that's flights. That's 4 nights of hotels.
Yeah, it's 10 hours from here.
I couldn't imagine that. I knew people that drove to Fort Lauderdale from Knoxville like sophomore year for spring break. I mean, could you imagine driving from Knoxville to, almost the most southern, like before you get to the Keys? I mean, you can't go much further south than Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and then it's the end of the country, basically.
Doesn't
from
Allegiant
Knoxville
fly
to
to
Miami.
Allegiant flies
Really?
Tampa, right? Do they not?
I guess.
I know they do weird days and things like that. It
That's the
might mess you
thing.
up, but-
They promote these they promote these flights of like, Knoxville to Memphis, only $70.
Yeah.
And it's like, $70 at 12 a.m. on a Friday night, and you get in at 2. Like, no. And also, like, the ones that are during the day are like $700.
Yeah, it's crazy. Flights are just crazy expensive.
Yeah. I even looked one time, Knoxville to Nashville flight. Just I didn't want to drive. And that was also $700. So you've really got to be bringing it
You wouldn't
in.
drive 2.5 hours to Nashville?
I just wanted to fly. I mean, I like driving, but I drove all through college. Like, I've taken that truck everywhere. That thing's been in Omaha, Gainesville, we flew to Norman. But literally every SEC trip we took, I just like driving.
But I mean, by the time you get to the airport, get checked in, go through security, get on the plane, then get to Nashville, it's probably been longer than 2.5 hours.
That is true, but you're up and doing something, and you get to walk through the airport and get on, there's some theatrics to it that are involved. But
You like airports?
I do like airports. I feel like everyone thinks they're important in the airport. Like, you're walking around, everyone's got their AirPods in, everyone looks busy.
The only time I've flown recently was to College Station, and they don't even have an airport. They just have like a runway strip for the athletics teams that are flying in there. So it's like they literally, you just fly there, get off the plane, get on a bus, and go to your hotel. So it wasn't even an airport there.
That's brutal. When I was looking at going to that game, it was like you fly into, I think it was Houston, and then you'd have to drive like an hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
Houston Airport is a disaster, or at least it was when we went to Norman. They've got they got construction going on. They've got 3 different terminals. It's all over the place.
A&M's worth it if you can get out there, though.
Yeah,
once you get to College Station, that place is awesome.
Yeah, I want to go to like one of the big away games. So
That'd be the biggest, right?
Yeah, that would be the biggest. Yeah,
Probably the baddest too. Probably yeah,
Columbia's
biggest
the
and the
house of
baddest.
horrors.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Buck says Carolina Beach, Cure Beach, Wilmington Beach. Lots of bikinis and cold drinks are flowing. Wilmington Beach is a good spot. It's Wrightsville Beach.
Appreciate him still listening.
Yeah, I know.
He's probably just got his headphones on, daiquiri or something.
Daiquiri and bikinis walking by, but William Patterson's in the ears. How about that? The American dream.
Oh, man.
Well, let's give Buck something to listen to on those beaches as we'll switch over to SEC Media Days as the college football offseason hits its final milestone before the start of fall training camp with SEC Media Days next week. The event will take place from Tampa, Florida, as all 16 teams from the conference will join in the Sunshine State to preview the upcoming season. And with those 16 teams set to appear, the event will be broken up into 4 teams every 4 days. Tennessee slated to begin their work on Monday, and each team's head coach will give up and give some coach speak for about 20 minutes, and then they'll have some spinoffs with the players specifically. Well, they'll answer questions themselves. I'm sure they've all been vetted by the Tennessee media department and what to say and not to say. I'm sure the Faison Brand and George McIntyre questions will be very, very quick in terms of a response. But Deshaun Bishop, Arian Carter, and Jeremiah Teenlander will represent Tennessee in terms of the players. And Brett, earlier this week, you voiced your displeasure for this lineup. Tell why.
Well, I mean, one, you already got a linebacker going. 2, Telander, I think he's going to have a role to play, but I think with some of the other guys, he's going to have a backup role. And I just thought David Sanders or somebody kind of earned a spot to be down there. Now we know he's our highest paid player, and I think his leadership is showing through in some of this tape, and I would have liked to see him go down there and things like that. I mean, it's not uncommon for offensive linemen to go down there. There's a few going. So, but yeah, I think that was my big reason.
Yeah, well, T-Lander obviously is an experienced player for this team. Arian Carter returning could have gone to the NFL, and he's one of the leaders of this defense. But I'm with you there, Brett. I would have liked some differing opinions. And, two linebackers in the same room that have been together at the same time. You're probably going to get similar answers.
Yeah, you can understand the other two for sure.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Deshaun Bishop most certainly deserves the opportunity.
You guys may have a third you might have wanted to see, but I thought Sanders could have been a perfect option.
Yeah, I think Sanders might be a little too young to to throw up there, but I mean, again, he's going into his sophomore season. You hope he's able to
get him some experience because he's going to be there next year.
He's
an all SEC guy this year.
So if I would have picked an offensive lineman, I'd have taken Pendleton.
Okay. Wendell Moy's a good guy too.
Do they ever bring receivers? Like you could have brought Braylon Staley. I mean, he's going to be arguably the best player on your team. Him and Deshaun Bishop are going to be.
There's not really that many options, honestly, because you're such a new defense, and
that's what I'm saying. I would have done
David Hobbs. I don't know.
I would have done an Amari Campbell or something, just like a new perspective. You have so many transfers. Talk about,
but he's not been around
the new defense
Tennessee enough, probably to.
Sure. No, yeah, no, I know, and I just my personal view of it. I would have liked to transfer to gone up there.
Yeah,
new guy. New perspective. Arian Carter's been with the team forever. So is Deshaun.
I think that's part of the reason why they go, though, is because they're representing the university as someone. Part of sticking around for the university and having loyalty to the program gets you the opportunity to do things like this and represent the university.
That is true. And that's a good perspective to look at. I mean Spillman's pretty young. I guess David Hobbs would have been the only other.
I wouldn't have taken a defensive lineman.
Yeah? Why is that?
I mean, just with the group we have, it's a lot of new guys and a lot of guys who haven't necessarily played a whole lot yet. So that's why. I mean, if I would have picked a third guy, I was cool with Carter and Deshaun. I mean, I was fine with T-Lander, but if you're going to replace somebody on that lineup, it would have been T-Lander, and I probably would have taken Staley, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Staley would have been a good option. And I don't think freshmen are allowed to go, period. So, if anyone was wanting to see if Faison Brandon or George McIntyre would have made it, I don't think they would have gone, period, even if they were red shirts, or
Carter went last year.
Yeah, he did.
Kitzelman and Bryson Eason went.
Yeah. A couple of years ago, Cade Mays went.
He did.
Or Cooper Mays, one of them.
I'm sure we had Trey Smith go. Some of those.
I went when it was in Atlanta in like 2021. I think it was Tillman. I can't remember who else was there. We had a receiver that year because he had Tillman there.
Yeah. Well, that's the trio. T-Lander, Carter, Bishop. They'll get up there and talk to the media. But one of the interesting things outside of the clicks and articles. Bayless Jones.
Bayless Jones was and Halante Taylor.
Okay.
So we only had two.
Well, the media is going to vote on the preseason accolades, including the finishes in the conference for this upcoming season, a part of all the questions and tidbits. I'm sure there are a number of coaches that will give some stuff that people get riled up about. That's been going down at the ACC media days this week as well. But where do you guys project Tennessee will place in the preseason SEC standings? The way I look at it is just who are the teams better. I think Texas is better. I think Georgia is better. I think Texas A&M is better. I think LSU is better. I think Ole Miss is better. Now we're at 5. And then
they're going to rank Alabama ahead of you. I mean,
A&M.
I think I said A&M.
Okay.
I think I said A&M.
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma is another one, 6. I think Tennessee's going to be kind of
middle of the pack.
Probably 9.
I think 8 is
8 or 9. 8 or 9 would be my projection. I think probably one spot above Florida or one spot above a Missouri.
I guess it depends on what you think the record's going to be, right? Like of all these teams too. Like that's what they're thinking about as well when they're doing these, right? I mean, it's not a power ranking. I don't think necessarily.
Well, I think Tennessee loses
at least 3, right?
At least 3. Like Texas A&M's a loss.
Mm-hmm.
We move that out of the way. Texas, most likely a loss. LSU, that's 3. If you lose the game to Bama, that's your 4. But even if you beat Bama, you're probably likely to lose a game to like South Carolina or something like that. So I think Tennessee is going to be a 5-4 team in the conference. And that's middle of the pack. And that's probably 8 or 9 because there are going to be a lot of teams that are bad and have like 2 losses or excuse me, 2
hard,
wins.
Right?
Yeah.
For a lot of these teams.
No, yeah. And there are going to be a lot of teams that have 2 wins, 3 wins, 4 wins. I think if you get to that 5, you're comfortably in that 7, 8, 9 range. So that would be where I project the media to put Tennessee next week. Garrett, to you, what would your projection be?
Yeah, I'd say I was gonna say 8 before we kind of discussed it. I mean 8, 9. I think we're kind of all in agreement. You're definitely gonna be lower than 10, but I mean you're not gonna be higher than 6 or 7. I mean I think 8 or 9 is. I mean if I was to place a wager on it, I'd say there's a pretty darn good chance you're either gonna be number 8 or 9. It just makes sense where it would be.
Brett, would you echo that?
Yeah, I mean, last year 4-4 in the conference, finished 9th. So you're gonna be thinking anything with 3 losses is going to be right in the middle of the pack. You would think, especially if you think there's the possibility of undefeated teams and 2 lost teams or whatever. How many of those are ahead of you? So yeah, I mean you're easily a middle of the pack team. I think this year, maybe surprise some people, but if you're like me, maybe you slip up and you fall farther than that too. So, but I think you start and end with the middle of the pack for sure.
Josh?
Yep, I'd put us dead in the middle, 8 or 9. I would say 8 because of the teams that would be below us. You're going to be above State, Arkansas, Kentucky, Vandy, and then out the next 4: Missouri, Florida, Auburn, South Carolina. They're probably going to put you above all 4 of them. I wouldn't anticipate them. I mean, maybe they put Missouri above you. I would not do that, but maybe they do it. The rest of them, I don't think they would do that. So I'd say 8 or 9.
You think the unanimous number 1 will be Texas?
Should be.
We talked about that blue chip.
There's going to be some voter that votes for. I mean, there's always some idiot that somehow gets a media pass that gets a vote that votes for Vanderbilt to win the SEC.
Well, you see that more.
You see that
more in the coaches poll than
Yeah.
anything, because the coaches that do that are the ones that just don't want to vote for Texas. Like Texas A&M will probably vote Vandy to win the conference.
Yeah,
because coaches do that all the time.
I think it'll be between Texas and Georgia for the top spot. You mentioned yesterday, Brett, the blue chip ratio. Georgia has the best in the country, if I was correct, 85% or 88%. Yeah. But Texas, what they bring in through the transfer portal is impressive. But I guess that also factors into that blue chip ratio ranking. I think Texas.
Because I don't think it's just strictly the recruiting. I think it's the whole roster.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. So
I think Texas is the best team in the SEC and best team in the country.
Yeah.
So that would be the way. I don't. If I'm a media person, I'm taking Texas unless I have some vendetta against them. Would you guys agree Texas be number 1?
I mean, unless you're one of those media members that says Texas has to, beat Georgia and Georgia beat them last season, and that's like, some people go off that.
Do they play this year?
No, no.
Don't believe they played.
Georgia beat them last year, so I'm sure there's some media. They're not going to be the undisputed unanimous 1. I don't think. I think there's going to be a lot of people to vote for Georgia still. I think it's going to be probably 70-30% Texas, but I think with Georgia's you could say Texas might be the better team, but with Georgia having the easier schedule, Georgia could have the easier path to the SEC championship game. So it kind of depends on how you look at it there too, but Texas is my preseason national championship pick, so I would have them 1.
Georgia has the weakest schedule in the SEC. Now, I think some of that goes into the fact that they're Georgia and they're not on someone else's schedule.
We looked at their schedule when you were out last week. It's not very different. I mean, you look at the first couple. I don't think they go on the road and play a true road game against a formidable opponent till like mid to late October.
It's not till Alabama.
Yeah. Them and LSU. Like LSU has a no excuses type schedule.
Yeah. Oh, you think it's easy?
I think LSU got the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, I thought theirs was.
Georgia's 2 toughest games on their schedule are at Ole Miss and at Alabama.
Yeah, so
they should be able to take care of everybody else.
Tennessee State week 1, Western Kentucky week 2, Arkansas is a road game at noon. That won't be a game. Play Oklahoma in Athens. They play Vandy in Athens. And then, Alabama's their first real road game that they could lose October 10th.
I don't know. LSU's pretty tough. I mean, you got to go to Ole Miss. Texas A&M comes to town. You got Alabama coming to town. Texas comes to town. You go to Tennessee. I mean, it's not it's
Clemson, I think
they should win that game. Sure.
That's a game they should win. I just look at it when you have Kentucky, Mississippi State, Auburn, and Arkansas all on your schedule. Those are predominantly going to be the 4 worst teams in the conference. That sets up really nice for me in terms of if I'm LSU. And you play both Alabama and Texas at home.
Back-to-back weeks, too.
Back-to-back weeks. So even though you have those matchups, those are both going to be night games in Tiger Stadium. So that's why I think it's favorable. The opponent themselves is a little bit more difficult. But when you add in the situation for each of them, Alabama and Texas at home and Texas A&M at home as well is really nice, to where even if you lose at Ole Miss on the road in week 3, you're going to have the home field advantage against your toughest opponents the rest of the way. A&M, Bama, Texas. And that Tennessee late game matchup is interesting. I think it kind of reeks a little bit of Oklahoma, Alabama in the end of the 2024 season, where Oklahoma was still a really talented team. They just couldn't put it together throughout the year. That could be Tennessee.
Well, how beat up is LSU at the end of that three-week stretch there with Alabama, Texas, and then you got to go on the road after those 2 games. I mean, that could be something that people aren't necessarily thinking about right now because we're in July. But when we're at the end of November and LSU's trying to solidify a playoff spot and they're coming off a loss to Texas and a physical win over Alabama.
Yeah. That LSU Clemson game last year, I thought was going to be one of the games of the year. I thought it was going to be the national championship preview. And I feel like this year it's kind of going under the rug a little bit. Maybe it's just because we're still 50 days out from the game being played. But
LSU's a double-digit favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, unless Clemson drastically improves, Clemson's winning that game probably by 10, 14 points.
LSU's
winning, by 10 to I think they're going to lose to Ole Miss. I just think that atmosphere is going to be –
I don't think Kiffin's going to respond well to it.
I mean, that's going to be one of the most unbelievable atmospheres. I mean, I don't want to oversell it. It might legitimately be one of the most unbelievable college football atmospheres in history, not just for like how loud it is, but like, I mean, if there's LSU fans that walk into the Grove before the game, I mean, there's going to be fights everywhere. I mean, those 2 fan bases are going to hate each other. It's going to be one of the most unbelievable days of like college football content that you're ever going to see between those 2 fan bases. If you were an LSU fan, I mean, I wouldn't even want to go to the game. I mean, I just feel like so many things are going to happen between those fan bases that day.
National Guard needs to be called in.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I'm sure they will too. And also, I think the other thing that's interesting is when, opposing teams come into town, they give an allotment of tickets. I wonder if Ole Miss gave them the normal allotment.
I think for conference games you have to. Non-conference games, from my experience, you can play around with it. Because when we played at Florida didn't give us any.
Mm-hmm.
They were like, "No, screw you guys."
Yeah.
But conference games, I think you have to.
Interesting.
Game's gonna be crazy because I was at that game last year. It was like I always go to one. We're on a bye or something. I go to one away game. That was the away non-Tennessee game I went to last year. And those fan bases do not like each other. And then you add on the wrinkle of what happened with Lane Kiffin. Now those 2 fan bases despise each other. I don't know how they got the game though in Oxford again. I mean, I know they flipped the schedule and stuff, but it just seems crazy they got the game in Oxford 2 years in a row.
TV ratings. They want that. They knew exactly what they were doing when they put that schedule together. Like, Adam Silver came out yesterday and said that he wants LeBron to make his decision so he can finish the schedule out.
I mean, it's true.
But it's true. The SEC wants to make money. Why would you delay Lane Kiffin's return for another year?
Will Golding and Kiffin shake hands at half-line?
I'm sure they will.
Okay.
They're boys. Golding
They're
says
boys?
Golding says they talk every week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Now, the opposing players might not shake hands.
You'll see the standard scuffle, won't you?
I think
you'll
will be
several of those. Yeah.
I think those will be the only 2 people that shake hands on opposing sidelines. Maybe Charlie Weiss gives Trinidad Chambliss a fist bump or something.
Yeah.
But Prince Will Umanmielen and TJ Daugherty will be public enemy number 1 on the defensive side, and then Winnie Watkins.
Seton and Prince will be fun.
Well, look, Seton's got no skin in the game here. Prince
I'm just saying it's a fun.
Yeah.
Those are NFL guys right there. It's just fun. Because there's a lot of skill on the field, obviously.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
it's going to be amazing.
There are a couple of LSU guys that flipped over to Ole Miss as well. Carius Kern was one of the top tackles in the class, and he flipped over to Ole Miss. If we're just specifically talking about that game, though, I mean,
is it the number 1 game for you this season?
Number 1.
Is it bigger than Texas Ohio State? I don't know.
This is the biggest game of the season.
Because people talk about it's like the biggest game ever. Like it's just like
right now. Yes, this will be like that week will be. You'll feel it, even if you're not in Oxford. You'll feel it.
What week is that? Because
week 3. Week 10.
So we don't play anybody.
No, we play Kennesaw State.
We
at
play
the exact
Kennesaw
same
State.
We play them at the
time.
same time, so
y'all
you'll be split screening.
It's Kennesaw State.
Well, I'll
Will
be
you
at the
be in the
Kennesaw
building?
State game, and I'll be having the Old Miss LSU game on the phone.
Well, so the funny thing
Put on the
is,
jumbotron.
it's my brother's parents' weekend that weekend here in Knoxville, and he's a senior, so it's his last hurrah. My mom's coming up for it, and she was like, "Well, I was thinking we could go to the game, Tennessee Kennesaw State game." I was like, "Mom," and she went to Ole Miss too. I don't.
Really?
So she wasn't probably
that, yeah.
thinking about that matchup, and I was like, "Well, you know what weekend it is, right?" And she was like, "No." What? I was like, "Well, that's Ole Miss LSU," and she wanted to go to it. So now there's do you go to your son's final, parents' weekend on Rocky Top, or you go to LSU Ole Miss?
She can pick a different weekend to come to a game.
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like,
cheaper hotels maybe for another week when all the parents aren't here.
I told her, I was like, I won't. I mean, I'm sorry, but I won't be attending, parents' weekend at SAE for over Ole Miss LSU. I'll be sitting on my couch. I'll have all the TVs rolling.
The Old Miss student section, after being in the Grove drinking since noon for a 7:30 kickoff against LSU behind the end zone, might be one of the most wild student sections you'll ever see.
Oxford PD, they're very active on the Twitter. They're going to have a heyday for that one. Over under on the amount of arrest. I'd say probably 250.
I hope they do it like the A&M tweets where they ejected at the end.
Those were hilarious. When we were on the plane after the game, we the whole team went through and scrolled A&M's PD's Twitter.
Oh, there was
together.
the one that was hilarious. It was like student apprehended outside the stadium drinking Tito's bottle and eating a sandwich, blood alcohol level 1.51, ejected, sent to hospital.
Jeez.
And then it's like BTHO, whoever they're playing, like they hashtag it. It's awesome.
I remember they got Manziel last year. Manziel came in I think that it might have been a fake tweet, but I remember it because Manziel was supposed to be the guest picker for the first round game against Miami. And then the night before he was at a UFC fight and everyone thought he got trashed and got arrested at Texas A&M again. But
so they have like the preseason predictions for players, like the teams. They actually have a few Tennessee guys on like the first and second teams on this thing.
I saw The Athletic put out one this morning.
I'm looking at some guys there.
Yeah, The Athletic had Wendell Moy as a first team
David
All
Sanders
SEC.
I think should maybe be
I didn't see
second-teamer.
Sanders.
I would have him as a second teamer.
Moy was the only first team guy that I saw, and that might be overall. I don't think Tennessee had a first team member on the defense.
They didn't put Staley up there?
No, there's too many good wide receivers.
Yeah.
This one has who are the receivers on this one?
Coleman.
Cam Coleman, Ryan Coleman, Williams, Mario Craver.
There's no way that you can put Ryan Coleman Williams after last season ahead of. Yeah, I mean, the dude had butterfingers last season. His freshman season, he was great, but he had drop issues last year outside the Wisconsin game.
Second team receivers on this is Staley, Satinga, Wingo, and Nick Harbor.
I'd have Staley over Williams.
Deshaun Bishop, second team offense.
Who now? Bishop Boswell?
I said Bishop Boswell.
Yeah,
sorry, Deshaun.
I saw Deshaun was second. I think, but are they doing two running backs?
Yes.
Okay.
Like Hardy and Lacey.
Hardy and Lacey are 1 and 2.
This Athlon does an all-purpose running back, an all-purpose player, and they have Jaden Ball.
Okay. Well, Jaden Ball is really good too. I think Bishop is. He'll have the opportunity to be the best running back in the SEC. He told me he wants to be the best running back in college football, so he's got high expectations.
If Ahmad Hardy's healthy, I don't think anyone can touch Hardy. And then I think Lacey just has to stay healthy.
Running backs are so good in this conference, too.
Lacey's
It's a really good running back class just in general for college football.
Yeah.
It's a really, really solid group.
And again, a lot of these guys,
I just hate how they do 4 teams. I know there's a lot of players, but I don't need to know they got Lenore Sellers, 4th team offense quarterback for this
16.
year.
I think
that's just Athlon, though. I don't think
it is
SEC
Athlon.
comes out.
Well, doesn't SEC do?
SEC does 3 teams.
No, they do 3, but they don't do 4.
I think Phil Steele might do 4. Maybe he does 3. I don't know. I guess
these teams are really, really good.
Tony B had Phil Steele on this week. That's a good pull for her. I like that. I like Phil Steele. I don't read the magazine anymore, but I know he puts a lot of work into it.
This one has Ethan Davis as the 4th team offense tight end.
Who are the 3 ahead of him?
Trades Green,
Lucky,
Sutton,
Lawson Lucky,
yeah,
and then
Willie Rodriguez,
Kentucky, yeah.
I'd maybe have Ethan Davis 3rd team, but
that guy from Kentucky's pretty good. He just didn't And he only had like 20 receptions last season, but he had like 300 yards on 20 receptions. Or
Was it Josh Cuevas at Alabama? Did he graduate?
I think.
Yeah,
he
I
did,
believe
yeah.
so.
Okay.
So who is Arian Carter? Are there any of our linebackers on any of these teams?
Mari Campbell's second team defense.
Who are the first team linebackers?
Who is it? Whit Weeks, Xavier Atkins, Rasheem Biles, Raylan Wilson, Kip Lewis.
Yeah, Rasheem Biles, he's
Comes
coming
over-
over from Pitt. He's
Yeah.
a machine.
Music City Sam wants to know if Ty Redmond is on that list.
Let's see.
He better be.
And this
On
is
defense.
Athlon. This is Athlon.
Yeah, second
This is- yeah,
team defense
not the
on
official
Athlon.
one. Okay, I would expect that's where he'll land.
Eli Bowen, Xavier Brown, Cortland Guillory.
Is Ty Benfield on that list for defense?
He'll be
Ty
at safety.
Second team, you think?
Ty Benefield from Boise State.
For what position?
Safety.
First team safeties, Bolden, Hubbard, and Ratcliffe. Defense, second team safety, Sab, Peyton Bowen, Ty Benfield, LSU.
Interesting.
Jelani McDonald.
John McDonald over at Texas.
Yes.
I feel like Sab's been there for a long time.
Is Pendleton on there for one of the
I don't see him.
teams?
No.
That's kind of a snub, don't you think?
Just Sanders and Mo look like are getting love.
Yeah, but you do have some really, there are a lot of good. Trying to think center. Slaughter got drafted.
Yeah.
Trying to think.
Jesse Perry's on here. It's third team or fourth team. Sorry.
Name me the centers for all four of them.
Cannon Boone's on the fourth team. Braylon Moore, LSU for third team. Mark Naboo Jr. A&M, and then first team is I think Bobo maybe.
I'd have
Mike Bobo's son.
Drew Bobo.
Yeah, I'd have Pendleton 3
with Gooseby Green, two Greens.
Ernest Green from
Georgia,
Georgia.
Caden
Green from
and
Mizzou.
Seaton and Mo are the.
Yeah.
Did y'all know I played with Mike Bobo's other son?
Really?
At Sanford? Yeah. Played with Drew's brother.
Oh, that's right. He did go there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now he is at Georgia. Also,
Yeah.
So he's with his brother, but
Yeah.
I got to play with him last year.
Yeah.
Same with Jimbo's kid.
Yeah. I remember that.
Also played with Jack Nicklaus's grandson. Believe it or not.
Oh.
We had some royalty on that team.
Yeah, you did.
Was he the guy that went to Michigan State? Is that where he went?
No, the Nicklaus's son.
Yeah.
Or grandson. No, he's done. He graduated.
Okay. I
He
thought one
came
of the
from
Nicklaus's went to-
Florida State though.
Oh, maybe that's what it
I thought he
was.
played golf. I thought Nicholas's grandson played golf.
It'd be in the blood.
He's got a lot of them.
Okay.
He's got grandkids that live near
The
near
only one I
high
ever
schools
see
I
is
went
the one
to.
he always caddy
Yeah.
for him in all the tournaments. Or I'm thinking of Palmer. I'm thinking of Palmer.
Yeah. All right, we'll hit a quick break real quick. When we come back, we'll have our all-time Tennessee football draft. Stay right here. It's Playbook on Fan Run Radio.
For the fans, by the fans, this is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Are you ready for the start of a new season? Maybe looking for your team to go on a tournament run? Get game day ready with Crumble. Head on over to your nearest location and pick up 12 pre-selected cookies plus exclusive toppers. When you're looking for dessert options, there's no question about who you should call on. Our listeners already know. Last year, the Dubai chocolate was a home run, along with the brownie batter. Oreo crumb was another crowd favorite. What new flavor will set the standard this season? If you're in the Knoxville area, there are 3 locations ready to serve you: Clinton Highway, Parkside Drive, and Maryville. Download the Crumble app to build your best lineup and vote on the best combos. You can even put your bid in to request a new flavor. Order in the app and slide on over to your nearest location. Tell them Fan Run sent you, and as always, it's for the fans, by the fans. Don't miss the cookies.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco at Knoxville Smiles. Have you ever wanted to improve the look of your smile? We know firsthand what the power of a great smile means to a person's confidence and health. Our team of doctors can provide you with an array of options for helping you achieve your cosmetic goals. From simply moving teeth into a better position, to reversible cosmetic bonding, to full mouth implant-supported dentures. It is our goal to help patients feel good about their appearance while achieving optimal health. Want to learn more? Call us at 865-539-1776 to schedule an evaluation, or visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com.
All right, back here on the Playbook. We appreciate you listening along with us on this fine Friday from K-Town. Coming up in 26 minutes, it's The Drive with Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, the Bear, and Walker Smith. They'll take you the rest of the way on this Fan Run Friday. I'm taking a bit of a page out of their playbook. Yesterday, they did their top 70s movies draft.
Really?
And I decided today, let's put a spin on that and do our Tennessee all-time football draft. So here's how this is going to work. It'll be a snake draft, 4 teams, 4 spots, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, defense. So he's got to select the year, the defensive year.
Not just the player?
Well, I mean, you can do really however you want, but, you know, I imagine if that player was good, that defense was somewhat good as well. So that's how we'll do it. And maybe a little bit of.
So are we doing like we can pick any position? Or are we all going to go around and do our quarterbacks at once?
So it's a draft. So round one, you can take whoever you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the order is how it is on the document. So 1, 2, 3, but then Josh will have back-to-back picks at 4 and 5, and then you'll go 6. It's a snake draft. So I'll get it started off with my selection, and I'll go Peyton Manning at quarterback. How about that? Peyton Manning, one of the best in Tennessee football history, finishes illustrious career holding 42 NCAA, SEC, and Tennessee records, and it's kind of self-explanatory why you'd take him number 1. So I go Peyton Manning at quarterback, and I think I'm in a pretty good spot unless I'm going up against Florida. And but in this day and age, I can still make the college football playoff. So.
He's a Hall of Famer, so you're okay.
Exactly. So Peyton Manning, my first
won the Heisman.
Yeah. And then Garrett, to you, I believe you're up next on the Okay. So your pick.
I'll go Heath Schuler.
All right, Heath Schuler at quarterback. Reasoning for that?
Well, he was runner-up in the Heisman, wasn't he, in the early 90s at some point? I mean, you got to be a pretty darn good quarterback to do that. Those were during good years of football for Tennessee in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Hendon Hooker would have, or, Joshua Dobbs could have been an obvious pick, but I'll go with an earlier selection than guys that I've watched in my lifetime.
There we go. Heath Schuler. All right. Team Hollander, who's on the clock?
Who's on the clock?
I guess you're on the clock.
Yeah, I'm on the clock.
You're on the clock. Who's in the
I'm going to go Eric Berry. I'm going to start with my defense. I'm going to go ahead and get one of the best players to ever come through here. Uber athletic.
Are we doing defensive years or defensive players?
It can really be.
I don't know.
It can really be either way.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
So you could pick any. I thought we were just doing quarterbers there, so I could have picked anybody.
Is that my understanding, right? Or
yeah. So for the quarterback,
I can pick a quarterback if you want me to.
For quarter, yeah, no. So no, we're just doing the
whoever we want to pick.
Whoever you want to pick in any round.
Okay. So I thought it was all quarterbacks. No, that's fine. But
okay, you want to repick that?
No,
so
I'll let you repick.
It's all good.
It's whoever you want to select to fill any of your 4 voids.
Yeah, I didn't look up the years. I just was looking at the players. So
we'll do Eric Berry, and we'll just say whatever best defensive year it was, and if there's a best defense, just you can name your favorite best player from that group. But,
yeah, I'm just going to go Eric Berry. I mean, I don't think I need to explain too much about him.
Well, there you go.
Pick the year. I mean, pick the play. I mean, he was elite. I love how he wore the no gloves.
Yeah.
And went on to play for the Chiefs, and he's a really good dude, really good player to come through here.
All right, Josh, you are on the clock.
Yeah, I'll go Hendon Hooker for quarterback. And then I get to pick again, right?
Yeah.
You do.
Give me Travis Henry.
Travis Henry at running back. All right. The all-time rushing leader for Tennessee football with 3,078 yards from 1997 to 2000. So team love it. Got Hendon Hooker at quarterback, Travis Henry in the backfield. And then Team Homelander's back on the clock.
Oh, man. Well, y'all have already picked quarterback, so I don't really need to go there.
Or are you going to have Nathan Peterman?
Oh, no, there's an all-time.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of all-time great quarterbacks,
Yeah.
you know. Like,
It's not like he's going to get stuck with Jared Gartarno on the next pick.
Yeah, phase on. No, let's see. I'm going to go Jamal Lewis at running back.
Oh, all right.
I'm going to go Jamal Lewis. So
Jamal Lewis. Good selection there. Another big-time Tennessee running back, 2,677 yards in his career from 1997 to 1999. Part of that 1998 team. So good pick there from Brett. Garrett, back to you on the clock.
I'll pick another member of that national championship team. I'll go Peerless Price at wide receiver.
All right. Peerless Price. Can't go wrong there. Had that big touchdown by way of T. Martin to kind of ice away the game against Florida State.
That's right.
All right, so I've got back-to-back picks here. And even though I could go little James Stewart, little man James Stewart, I'm going to go with my guy, D-Samp. I'm going to go Dylan Sampson because he ran for 6.1 yards a carry, folks, and was the 2024 SEC Player of the Year. And
good pick.
One of the best backs to come through the program. And, you know, if he had more touches throughout his entire timeline, I think he'd be well on his way. And in terms of the single season stats, there aren't any better.
Yeah.
Broke Gene McEver's record for most touchdowns accounted for in a season. So I got quarterback Peyton Manning handing off Dylan Sampson. Now I need to start thinking wide receivers here.
Or defense, whatever you
or
want.
defense.
Yeah.
Or defense. I could go Jalen Hyatt in the theme of big-time years, but I'm going to go Joey Kent, one of the best to do it. The all-time leading wide receiver in Tennessee football history, 2,814 yards from 1993 to 1996.
Keep him together.
25 touchdowns. I got a dynamic duo right there with Payne and Joey Kent.
Ever do it.
Maybe I get an upgrade. Maybe I get a couple attribute boosts for pairing them together, dynamic duos.
That's true.
So I got Joey Kent. So I got Peyton Manning, Dylan Sampson, Joey Kent as my current group. Defense still left to go. Garrett, you're back on the clock.
I'll go with the 1998 defense. You won a national championship. I would assume that.
You're just taking the team?
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and take the team that had the best team in program history. I'm going to go ahead and take their defense.
1998 defense. That's a good one. Obviously, that was a very good group. We'll have to think on a player to select from that to represent. But now we've got, Team Hollander back on the clock.
Let's see, I've got defense and running back, so I need to. I'm going to go outside the box here. I think this guy was as about as electric it comes on the outside. I'm going to go Cordero Patterson.
Okay.
I thought about picking him.
I think he's what wide receivers are today when you think explosiveness. And yeah, I think his although the team wasn't very good when he was here, but his 1 year here was.
He'd be a return specialist for you too.
Return specialist, yeah. And he was just elite in open field.
I like that. That's a good one. Cordero Patterson, I mean, if he had one more year or just another year.
That wide receiver trio on that team, though, with I think Justin Hunter and who's the other one? Derek Rogers, was he? Or was that? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. He was near
either way.
time.
That was a good group.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Josh, you got back-to-back picks now.
Yeah, he took my pick. I was going to take CP, so I got to pivot here. Let's go with. We'll keep Hooker and Hyatt together.
All right.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Litnikoff can't go wrong.
Yeah,
with that.
and then we'll do. Do we get two receivers or is it just one?
You got your defense. I did 4 just for time constraints.
I'll go. What if I go with the 1939 defense? Nobody scored on them.
Well,
that's pretty dang good.
Nobody scored on the team.
Who's your favorite player on that team?
I can't name you a player.
Yeah. We'll put that 1939 Tennessee defense.
Throw him on there.
That is.
Hey, all Americans Bob Suffrage and Ed Malinsky anchor the unstoppable unit, according to the internet. Give me those two guys.
Will be wearing leather helmets, and the offense will be.
Fine, they're going to be the
4 years ago.
toughest defense out there.
Yeah. Well, Adidas is going to have their hands full with
We
those
could have used him
uniforms.
against Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, there we go. that would really work out. All right. Well, Team Hollander doesn't have a quarterback.
Oh, I do now. I'm taking the guy who won the national championship for us in '98, T. Martin.
T. Martin. Scraping by George McIntyre. Actually, scraping by.
I was going to go Ryan Staub.
Ryan Staub. Yeah. Ryan Staub gets to have a good cast around him. So, Team Lovett is solidified. Hendon Hooker at quarterback, Travis Henry at running back, wide receiver Jalen Hyatt. Defense, 1939.
Is that what we're supposed to do? Pick a defensive year?
You can do a defensive year.
Okay.
I'd said it in the notes.
I didn't know if
but
we were just supposed to do defensive player.
That's
but,
okay.
yeah,
It's okay. Eric Berry, just
find
put
the defense.
11 Eric Berries out there, and that's probably still a good team.
It's not bad.
That's true.
And then Team Hollander now solidified. T. Martin at quarterback, Jamal Lewis at running back, Cordero Patterson at wide receiver, and Eric Berry, 11 of them on defense. Team Armbrust on the clock now, running back.
Let me go Alvin Kamara. He can run, and he's a pass-catching option.
That's a good one.
So, I mean, he did some good things for us while he was here. I'll it wouldn't have been my top choice, but I'm the only person that's running back left, so that's going to be my pick.
So for my final pick, I thought Josh was going to take one of these. So I was just going to take the latter of which, but I didn't think we were going back in the textbooks and going to the 30s.
Why not?
I'm between 2024's defense and 2015. 2015 ranked, I think it was 16th overall in team defense. The 2024 unit was number 7 overall. But I feel like the star power on that 2015 team was better. Like I mean, James Pierce Jr. was great.
You had Derek Barnett.
But I got Derek Barnett. And then
Jalen Reeves-Maben was there. Cam Sutton was there.
I think I go 2015 defense. I like the star power better.
I'm just saying, team scored on that defense. Nobody scored on my defense.
Well, again, I don't think anyone.
The forward pass hadn't been invented yet, though, in 1939, at least downfield.
I don't even know if they had scorekeepers for those games. That might just be word of mouth that they didn't allow a
Tennessee
point.
won 10 games by a combined score of 212 to nothing.
Well, that is a good number to have, but again,
you can't lose
when
if
you
the other
beat
team
University
doesn't
of the Cumberlands. That helps you.
Yeah.
So let's see. We'll get to those YouTube comments here in a moment. So some guys are selecting their own teams, but I'm going to go the 2015 defense for the star power. And here are the final teams. And if you're on that YouTube chat, let us know which one you believe is the best. Team Patterson, quarterback Peyton Manning, running back Dylan Sampson, wide receiver Joey Kent, defense 2015 led by Derek Barnett and company. Team Armbrust, Heath Schuler at quarterback, Alvin Kamara at running back, Peerless Price at wide receiver. The defense, 1998 national championship group. Team Hollander, Team Martin at quarterback, Jamal Lewis at running back, Cordero Patterson at wide receiver. Defense, Eric Berry. It's okay. Eric Berry, I guess what was Eric Berry's best year? Or I guess
best team defense?
Best team defense?
I'll look one up.
Maybe, I would say
he was there for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 years.
That defense did have a tough time with Florida after that Eric Berry pick 6. So
put him back in the game, and then they just completely folded.
Yeah. But while Brett thinks on that, Team Lovett, quarterback Hendon Hooker, running back Travis Henry, wide receiver Jalen Hyatt, defense 1939. So those are the teams.
I pulled up that 1939 team schedule, by the way. Would you like to hear it?
So what?
I pulled up the 39 team schedule, by the way. Would you like to hear it?
Sure. Cumberland Avenue.
Week 1, NC State.
Uh-huh.
Sewanee, former SEC member.
SEC member.
Chattanooga, Alabama, Mercer, LSU, the Citadel, Vandy, Kentucky, Auburn, USC.
Cupcake schedule. My team went up against good groups. Mercer, Chattanooga, Sewanee, Cupcake.
Sewanee won a cupcake at that time now.
Yeah.
Sewanee and Tulane, former SEC members.
Sewanee's won an SEC title.
That is true.
They're now Division III.
They are. I played against them in my freshman year.
Yeah.
Buck says Peyton Manning, Tony Robinson, Willie Galt, Reggie Cobb, Chuck Webb, Peerless Price, Reggie White, Eric Berry. He's got Reggie Cobb and Reggie White and Eric Berry. He wasn't the greatest ever, but Willie Galt was all-time favorite offense, White on defense. Will, I'm surprised you didn't take McCoy and Pierce. and talking about Jeremiah McCoy and James Pierce Jr. for that 2024 defense. So good stuff. Good draft. I guess we'll have to let the people decide which one is better. But when we come back on the other side, we'll wrap things up on a Friday. Stay right here. It's a Playbook on Fan Run Radio.
Congratulations. You found sports radio that doesn't suck. This is Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Citizens National Bank.
Life is more fun with a Good Life account, offering extra benefits, including bank travel. Experience the trip of a lifetime to Ireland. Explore rolling green hills, historic castles, and charming villages across the Emerald Isle. Get in on the fun. Call 865-429-7935 today.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia, courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys, every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
A brand built in Tennessee and born from the love of the game. Inward Half revolutionizes golfing comfort. Crafted by a former pro and dedicated enthusiast just like you, our luxury performance wear guarantees you stay cool and comfortable through every swing and every day. We're not just a brand. We've set out to create a lifestyle for those who understand that impeccable style and premium performance are a hole-in-one. Enjoy the walk-in with Inward Half.
All right, wrapping things up on the Playbook. We appreciate you hanging out with us on this Friday. Coming up in 9 minutes, it's The Drive with Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, the Bear, and Walker Smith will take you the rest of the way to get you ready for the weekend, but we've still got a couple of minutes to go. FIFA World Cup final on Sunday, the third place game on Saturday. Brett, I know you are fired up about this weekend. What do you anticipate for Sunday's match, and who gets it done?
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty amazing. I think you got Messi and what he's been doing. It's been magic all World Cup long, and I mean Spain's been legit, and they've been really really good, and they probably are the betting favorite. I think they're the betting favorite going into this one. But it's hard not to go with Messi and Argentina, and I'm a Messi fan. It's hard not to be, and I think they feel like a little bit of a team of destiny the way they've had all these comebacks, and maybe it catches up to them on Sunday, but it's just hard to go against that little man, and I'm going to go with Argentina. I think it's going to be probably like a, 2-1 game, something like that. So I'm going to roll with Argentina.
Argentina, to me, they just feel like the team of destiny. Despite being down so many times in this tournament, they always find a way in the latter moments. New York Knicks-esque.
Yeah.
Never count them out. Maybe this is just the year of teams of destiny.
I mean, they were led by a little guy too,
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson.
When was the last time Argentina has won?
Won what?
World Cup.
They won the last one.
Oh, they won the last one.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's been like 70 years since somebody went back to back.
People are hating on them right now because they don't want to see a back-to-back winner.
See, that does reveal my FIFA World Cup knowledge. But hey,
it's all good.
I don't act like I know it. There's
No,
there are a lot of idiots on TV that act like they know what they're talking about, but they don't. If I don't know it, I'm not going to try and discuss it. So that's why I defer to you guys that are more into it. But I was going to try to make it to a parallel, but if they've already, like the Knicks hadn't won it since the late 70s.
Yeah.
So I was
hadn't even been to the finals.
If Argentina was in the same boat, I was going to say, well, maybe Tennessee.
I don't know
You
when
hadn't
it was
played.
before that.
England would have been your New York Knicks comp there.
Well, that's why that's why I had them on DoorDash. But no fun for me. No $5 million payout. So we got one Argentina pick. Josh, where do you side?
I'm going to go Spain. I just think they're a little bit deeper. I think Argentina has more star power, but I think this thing's going to extra time, I think it's going to be really tight. So I'll say Spain gets a winner in extra time. I think it'll be a great game.
All right, you save the graphic. No graphic game as I don't know, Josh. I don't know if you know what the graphic game means.
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I watch Game Day.
Okay.
I know what it means.
Okay, good to know. Garrett, to you, who do you got, Spain or Argentina?
I was gonna say Argentina, but then I was watching SportsCenter last night as I was going to bed, and they had these 4 guys on there that definitely knew what they were talking about soccer. They were on like the ESPN FC.
Yeah.
And their entire 4 panels said that Spain was going to win either 2-0 or 2-1. So
I don't see it being 2-0.
They're really good.
Messi's going to get a goal. I mean, he's gonna. It's his last
He'll
international
create
game.
a goal or something.
Yeah, it's his last international game.
Last international game?
I don't think it will be.
I think it will be. When else would he play?
The next World Cup.
Now is Ronaldo? I saw Ronaldo said he was done, and then like a day later he's not done. Was that his final?
I think Ronaldo's going to play in the next World Cup because it's in Portugal. So I think
Well,
I think he's going to hold out
too.
for that.
It's all on that little.
Yeah.
So,
but it's just one.
Ronaldo's
game.
not playing in that one. No way.
It's just
you
one
don't think
game.
he come
in
off the bench like
Argentina,
Neymar?
Maybe.
Neymar looks like a little actor out there.
Well,
He
yeah.
doesn't
He's
have any
toast.
business
Yeah,
out there.
he's toast.
Messi can still play though.
Absolutely.
Neymar was playing in the World Series of Poker a week after elimination.
Messi's gonna just Messi walk. He just walks 60. Doesn't even wear himself out until he gets the ball. Like he doesn't do.
Do you really think he's making it to the next World Cup?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He'll be 43 if that's the case. He's 39 right now.
I mean, we've seen some crazy things. I mean,
If-
LeBron's
is
still
Messi
going.
the GOAT? Is
I mean,
Messi the GOAT?
Oh yeah.
Well, there's another GOAT that's still doing it.
They're waiting to make a whole NBA season because of him.
I know.
I'm
The
telling
odds
LeBron's
for
getting
the
to
NBA
25.
championship are going to go.
LeBron's
depending on
getting to
where he
25 NBA seasons. That's what he's going to do.
Well, he answered that kid.
Is he waiting for Bryce?
He went to the Fanatic. He went to the maybe Zuri. He went to the Fanatics Fest yesterday, and some kid asked him, and he goes, talking about where he's going to play next. He said maybe next year, maybe next 2 years, maybe.
See, I think of Messi because Messi's kid's like 13 right now. So in 4 years, he could be 17, possibly on a roster.
Is he good?
I mean, he plays for Inter Miami in the academy down there where he goes. He'll find his way over there, but
Kendrick Perkins said on ESPN he didn't think this was LeBron's last season.
Oh,
He's like, man, he might
no
play
chance.
2-3 more years.
I quit listening after he said Kendrick Perkins said. That'll wrap it up for a Friday edition of the Playbook. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Have a great weekend. Coming up next, it's The Drive right here on Fan Run Radio.